Can you believe this, Freddie? Look at this. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the
New
helmet collection is growing right now. We just got a La Morado in, a new one. Lucerne is here. We got Los Altos last week. We've got the regulars, the Amat, Monrovia, Spartans, San Dimas.
Freddie, and I've been told we got
St.
more
Francis,
coming.
More on the way. What we're going to do is start building shelves so that we're decorated in football helmets, because this is football season, James.
Right.
And it is on this week because
isn't it?
We're starting league action for most of these guys. It's been a pretty good preseason so far. When you look at a lot of the games, we got a lot of teams of those 14 divisions that are high up in the rankings. We got a few number ones, and this first week, James, it sets it off because we've got a lot of big games in week one of these league schedules that could ultimately decide these league titles. So I've got my Rocky sweatshirt on. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I feel like let's talk about it. Where do you want to start?
Wow, holy cow. By the way, we want to mention one thing real fast. We better get used to this because after this year, with the new 14 leagues that are going to be in the area next year, league starts, I believe, not next week, but the week after. So there's only 3 league games next year for most of these leagues. So this is it here.
There'll be football-only leagues next year. But
so
let's talk about right now in the present.
Yeah.
And I think you want to start with one of the biggest games of the week. Let's jump right into it.
It's your game, Freddie.
Bishop Amat is at Alameda. This is the Mission League special. And hey, look, for all that we've said about Bishop Amat, let's just forget about whether they're going to be in Division 1 or 2 right now.
Right.
That's going to be decided over the next several weeks in this Mission League play. They are opening up 4-1 Bishop Amat, and they've looked good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They are opening up at Alameda, undefeated, on the road. But look, hey, you look at Sarah is, I think, ranked 5 or 6 in the Division 1 poll right now. They're certainly one of the teams that are going to factor in. Sherman Oaks Notre Dame is going to factor into the equation who wins. You really can't count out Loyola. They've kind of on that outside looking in. They've played a pretty tough schedule, James. There are 4 to 5 teams to me. The only team I think is probably the longest of long shots is Chaminade, and Bishop Amat will get them in week 2.
Yeah.
So, wow, what a Mission League. And it's always been pretty tough, but this year especially, I think Amat can finish anywhere from 1st to 4th.
I agree.
In a snap. And this first game at Alameda, if you can win a road game against one of these teams, and this is going to be one, puts you in the driver's seat. So they're driving there on Friday night, and this is going to be big. What are your initial thoughts of this?
It is.
Someone who's been part of the Mission League with Crespi when they used to be good.
I will tell you this, that for whatever the reason, Alameda's always been the house of horrors for Amat.
Yeah.
And for anybody, for that matter, who goes down there. I don't know what it is, or if they give the officials an extra $20 or whatever, but it's always been the house of horrors.
Yeah.
Freddie,
it's been the house of horrors for reporters, too. That's the one place I can't get in the press box. I remember years ago going to cover a game down there. The Oregon quarterback, the guy who played down...
Vernon Adams.
He was down there, and Amat lost, just a tough game down there on the road. Tommy Kitts and I were there. I was riding from the stands. I tried to call up middle of the week, and nope, we got no room for you.
Wow.
One of those things.
It's going to be a big game.
So, yeah.
Who are you thinking?
Oh, God, you're putting me on the spot here. Because I've really gone back and forth with who I think is going to win this game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick Bishop Amat. And I know you can call it a homer move, call it what you want.
Yep.
I think Alameda, when you look at all of the teams so far, have played the weakest schedule of a lot of these Mission League teams. And although they're 5-0, they didn't play J. Sarah on the road like Bishop Amat did.
Correct.
And I think Bishop Amat the last couple of weeks, although their schedule isn't, outside of J. Sarah, you can't say that Bishop Amat's schedule is, anything spectacular either.
Correct.
But I think they have looked good. I do like Damian Moore in a game like this. They can run the ball. Their quarterback, their sophomore, is starting to get some confidence, and I think defensively, Bishop Amat has improved a lot in the last couple of weeks. They're coming off a bye week like everybody else.
Yep.
If Bishop Amat is going to play in Division 1 this season, this is the kind of game that would put him in Division 1. I think they win this game.
Okay. And I'm going to take Alameda just because of the personnel. Yeah, there's so many guys that they have this year are just playmakers all over the place. And like I said, a very tough place to win at. Excuse me. Plus, I also do believe I picked Alamany to win the league
Yeah.
in the Saturday morning quarterback on Saturday. So, but it's going to be a close game. It'll be, like I said, every week in the Mission League will feel like a season.
Yeah, we're gonna really find out because, like I said, Bishop Mott's only lost Jay Serra, and their 4 other wins have been, it's just, who they've played. They've played
well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about
Diamond Ranch and Chino Hills. And
Cathedral. They beat up pretty good. Paramount. They barely won, but that was without.
Those aren't exactly teams that instill fear in you. So
I agree.
I think we're really going to find out who Amat is on Friday night.
It's called the Truth Game.
And I like Bishop Amat after what I've always liked about Coach Steve Haggerty and that group is give them those first 5 weeks to get ready for league, and they usually come ready to go and watch for the surprise on Friday.
Our buddy Tarek Fatal from the Daily News will be covering the game for us on Friday night. Let's go to the game.
And incidentally, Cal Preps has Alamany as a 2-touchdown favorite, so there you go. They're usually pretty accurate. But go ahead, let's go. Let's
go to the game you're going to be at. This is probably the game of, I don't want to say the game of the decade, but boy, this could be the game of the year here, Freddie.
Yeah, so we've got
Glendora at Bonita.
Bonita. Someone's O must go. 2 5-0 teams that have looked spectacular doing it. Glendora is number 1 in Division 5, and they've been there for weeks. Bonita, sort of a mystery. They were number 1 in Division 9. They beat San Dimas in the Smudge Pot.
Yep.
They dropped to number 2 in their bye week. They beat Covina 50-0, and this week they dropped to number 3 in Division 9.
Yep.
Forget about all that stuff. Bonita's a real deal. I watched them play that game last Friday. Their offense, the way Bogan moves the ball around, his quick screens, that ball gets out of the quarterback's hands, James, that.
I've seen it.
I was really impressed. You watch a lot of football, over the last couple of years and this year. Really impressed how quickly he gets the balls out of their hands. The question I have for Bonita is physically, will they be able to stand up to that offensive line at Glendora and slow down Xavier Ford? Because I really think this is a game where Glendora's probably going to keep it simple.
Okay.
And I don't think they're going to be trying to, I think if Ford can move the ball and he's going to have success, I look for him to carry the ball 30, 35 times and not be concerned about mixing up the run and pass. I know they love to throw the ball when they can. They've got Jacob Gonzalez. But I think this is a game, if you're Glendora, You've got to do what works for you. And if they can run the ball and pound Bonita, keep their offense off the field, I think they've got a really good chance.
Okay. I do believe so, too.
I'm taking Glendora in that game, surprisingly.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Not surprisingly.
Well, I think
but it's going to be a close game.
It will be a close game. Yeah. And I think the chess match between the 2 defensive coordinators on each side of the field, with Tyler and Mike and Justin Perry on one side and Brian Johnson on the other, they both run the same defense, Freddie.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the equal looks and everything else.
I do think if Bonita, if they can score first, even get a 14-point lead, kind of surprise, if I'm them, I get we do the coin toss and I have a chance, I'm going offense right away. If they can put them in a deficit and make Glendora maybe throw more than they want, where there's more of a possibility to get in trouble, I think that Bonita has a chance. But right now, you're making me pick this game. I've got Glendora, but what a spectacular game at Bonita High School.
Yeah, I'm taking the home team here.
You're taking Bonita at home.
I'm taking the home team here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a shocker, but I got Glendora.
Yeah, I think it's a flip a coin game. I really, really do.
Come on, throw another one at me.
Yeah, so we'll start
These are
moving our
big
way.
games this week.
Huge games. So Muir is back in action, Fetty. They had the unscheduled bye because of the
Poor
forfeit.
They've only played 4 games this year. They're 3-1.
4-1.
Are they 4-1? Okay, I'm sorry. So they're 4-1. They last week was supposed to be their league opener against Glendale, and they would have won 50-0 anyway. But Glendale, because they didn't have enough healthy bodies, had to forfeit the game.
Yep.
So there you go. Muir's had 2 weeks to get ready for this game against
Burroughs.
Burroughs is 5-1.
Yep.
We saw what Burroughs did to Pasadena.
No, that was Burbank.
Burbank. But didn't Burroughs beat them? Was it?
Not yet.
Crescenta Valley was the other team. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got this game on the road, James. Muir has looked good, and they're going to get Jameer Johnson
that is
back this week.
Everything
and
with those guys.
There's a lot of, when you talk about sit-out periods and who's going to get guys that are going to benefit their team.
Yep.
He's a game changer. He was at Northview last year as a sophomore, and his ability, as a wide receiver and a defensive back, that extra guy, he is a game changer. That's why he's getting recruited by so many Pac-12 schools, big-time schools. Muir was already good. I think this is now the difference between Muir winning league and maybe finishing second or third. And I think, they've got to go out and make a statement. I think Aram Talegian pointed out in a tweet following Pasadena's 0-2 start, because we thought they were going to beat Burbank last week, right?
Yeah.
That, Muir and Pasadena, they've looked good in recent years in the non-league, and then they get in the league and they break your heart.
You do.
And that's been the case with both of them. This is a chance for Muir to really, really jump to a 2-0 start in league and really have a chance to win it, which in the past couple of years they haven't been able to get over that hurdle. It's been second and third, sometimes fourth. So I like Muir on the road here in a biggie. You're going to be there on Friday.
I will,
because it's a big time game in Pasadena.
I will, and I'm taking Muir. If they have any aspirations of winning,
they got to win this game.
They have to win this game,
Freddie.
Yeah.
So Crescenta Valley's looked really good.
I was impressed with
and
Burbank
obviously
on Thursday.
Burbank has looked really good.
I was impressed with what I saw from them Thursday.
You've got to win, and Pasadena's going to always be tough in the turkey tussle. So you're right. If you're Muir, you can't lose this game.
No, there's no. If any aspirations of winning league, this is a must.
You better drink your bottle of Get Tough on Friday.
You are not kidding.
John Muir High School. Go ahead.
The Whittier Daily News Game of the Week, and on any other week, this would probably be our Game of the Week.
Oh, let me take my glasses off.
Go right ahead. And it involves one of the new helmets here, and that's Lucerna.
Wow.
Number 4 in your current rankings, taking on El Rancho, whose only loss was to Northview at the beginning of the year. So they're on a 5-game winning
streak. And that
was
a close game against Northview, and you realize that is the beginning of the year. And El Rancho, since that game, James, their quarterback, their defense,
they ripped through everybody.
They've looked spectacular, and I'm starting to wonder, how good is this team? I mean, they're behind Muir. They're number 2 in Division 11.
Yeah.
You've got to think that they're a bona fide threat now in that division. Now,
I think so.
Are they enough for Lucerna? Because there's been that big gap between Lucerna and the Del Rio.
Yeah.
Although every now and then, Lucerna gets into some of these games in Del Rio because there's so much history with these teams that they get in fights. And I think this is going to be a battle on Friday night, a surprisingly tough one, because there's some chips on your shoulder when you're El Rancho and that blue pride.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone thinking Lucerna's going to go out there and put the smack down on them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that simple. I think you're going to have a dogfight on Friday night. What do you think?
I really do think so. Boy, 50-6 Lucerna beating Warren was such a major statement last week. It just that the score and how they did it and everything just jumped out at you. Even Scotty French, I left him a message. He was like, "Man, these guys are really, really good." So I'm going to take Lucerna here. They are the home team over El Rancho, but boy, oh boy, Freddie, this is a tough call.
Yeah, I was trying to hype El Rancho up right now, James. If I'm going to be really super honest with myself, Lucerna's going to win this game by 3 touchdowns.
I don't know.
There it is.
There's your
El Rancho. I loved how you play, and I really do think you're going to be a threat in Division 11. I think you're going to finish second in the Del Rio League. I just think there's a major gap still between Lucerna and yourselves. Maybe I'm wrong. I know that you're going to be fired up, and it feels like there's a possibility for a tough game.
Yeah.
But I'm going to call it right now and say I like Lucerna by 3 touchdowns because I think Lucerna's going to get ahead of them.
Okay.
Rancho's going to be frustrated trying to come back, and then it's going to be one of those games, James. Lucerna by 3 touchdowns.
So those are the 3 games that you're going to see in print in the Saturday morning edition of your newspaper. The rest of these games we're going to see online. And Freddie,
there's a lot of big games to go over. Come on.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. These these games you're going to see online only. And any other week, Freddie, over at District Field, San Dimas and Northview would be the game of the week. But as so happens, there's so many great games. But this is another one. Wow, here we go.
Yeah, so San Dimas and Northview opening up the Valley Vista League. This game probably ultimately decides the league title. When you see Covina's down, Baldwin Park's down, Roland might be the next best team in that league right now at 41.
Isn't that scary to say?
You don't completely discount them as a team that could give either of these 2 teams a scare because Northview, look, they lost to Los Altos and they got manhandled. I happen to think though that this is a very good Los Altos team that played with Glendora, so I'm not going to put way too much stock in that. San Dimas, on the other hand, has been more of a disappointment. The loss to Whittier still kind of stands out, James. I like Northview to win this game. I do think it's going to be close because these games usually are close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Northview, especially at the district field. But San Dimas, it's always so tough. I just don't think that San Dimas has the horses this year to stay in it like they have in years past.
So one of our loyal viewers is Mark Holman over at San Dimas. Loves to watch the show. Loves to use our words for motivation.
Sorry, Mark. This is not going to happen on Friday night.
Okay. I have a little message from Mark. It has become very apparent from watching two of your games this year that your pass defense is, say, it's below average. And if they couldn't stop Whittier with 390 yards passing and with Jastrab 300 yards
James
passing,
Jimenez coming into town.
Now you got James Jimenez with the Thompson twins.
And the reason James Jimenez struggled against Los Altos is the physicality aspect.
Right.
There was too much pressure. He
Right.
couldn't do it, and that's football. They won't have those issues
No.
against San Dimas.
No.
They're going to be able to throw it around the park. That's why I think that.
And I think the alarming thing for me, Freddie, is I see guys so wide open.
Yeah.
So there's like busts in the coverage. So on the practice script this week, Mark, I'm hoping there's probably 40 minutes of 7-on-7 action because you're going to need it.
Yeah, big game.
I'm going to take Northview, so
Always
to
a
speak.
big game. Yeah.
Always. Crossover special here, Freddie, and we're going to cover this on the Saturday morning quarterback. St. Paul's traveling to LaSalle. St. Paul has had a very challenging schedule, 3-2. You've got them ranked number. I'm going to look at your poll here real fast.
Well,
Number 7. They're 4-2.
Yeah.
They beat Los Alamitos. Huge win last week, 14-7.
Yeah.
I think they're getting the mojo at the right time here, Freddie.
Yeah, and for LaSalle, I talked to Ben Byes last week before the loss to Cerritos Valley Christian, which was their first loss.
Very
of the season.
disappointing loss.
They had been rolling along, but I think at the end of the day, there's still a talent gap between LaSalle and St. Paul. I don't know about the rest of that league. That kind of I think is going to remain.
St. Genevieve and all those. I think they're all.
I think
kind
there
of
are
the
some
same.
games in there they can win.
Yep.
I don't think anyone is going to touch St. Paul in that league this year, and that's not I think LaSalle's had a great start. When you go 0-10 and you win your first 3 games of the season the way they did, first 4 games of the season,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then they
Took a little stumble.
lose last week, take a little stumble, and it was a game that could have gone either way.
Yep.
Cerritos Valley Christian with a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, kind of a surprise move to win it, hands them their first loss. But I knew all along and felt all along this was the game that was going to be too much for LaSalle.
Yep.
St. Paul is obviously battle-tested. When you look at their 2 losses were to superpowers. They beat a very good Los Alamitos team last week.
Yep.
They're going to be a threat to win the Division 5 championship. They're right in there. This is blowout city on Friday night. For all the strides that LaSalle has made, this is too big of a step up in class for them.
Great. We both take St. Paul here. Another game we're going to cover, Freddie, on the Saturday morning quarterback. Damien is taking on Upland.
Yeah.
And this is an intriguing game because I don't think Upland is the same team as they've been in the past. They've stumbled a lot. They got waxed pretty good by Mission Viejo last week. And in talking with Matt Bechtel this week, I sense a renewed vigor of excitement. He can't wait to get in the baseline league play. When I hear Matt talking like this, look out. Here we go.
Yeah, and they're very close to being 4-1. I mean, they could have won the St. Francis
Yes,
game.
very
If they've
close.
been doing it, their quarterback got hurt in the beginning of the season,
Yes.
and they've been going with the freshman quarterback.
Dylan Gutierrez.
I wonder what's going to happen this week because with the sit-out period over, who's eligible?
Zach Camarena.
Zach Camarena, the transfer from Bishop Amat,
Yeah.
who was pegged to be like the next big one at Bishop Amat. And he was going to, I think, lose out in that battle between the sophomore that's there now. So I don't know what Bechtel's going to do. I don't know if Zach Camarena is going to come in and be the
I don't
quarterback
think
on
so.
Friday.
I don't
maybe,
think
maybe
so.
not. But he becomes eligible. He's a good football player. And look, this is why Matt Bechtel went to Damien, to turn the program around, to try to compete with the best of the best in the baseline. I don't know if they're there yet. I saw he made a comment, and you talking to him that, I know we're 3-2 just like we were last year, but I feel like we're a lot better than that.
He
We're
thinks
better
the
than
product
last
is the
year's
product
team.
is a lot better.
And Upland obviously is not as good as it was last year.
No question. I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking Damien.
You're taking Damien in the upset.
I am taking the upset
I still
pick
like
here.
Upland winning that game, but I do expect it to be competitive. I don't think they're going to go there and just
No.
lay an egg.
No.
And I think they have a chance to finish second or third. I think the Rancho Cucamonga game is going to be a pretty good game.
It will be.
2 down the line. So
It will be.
We'll see. There's a lot of tough games in the baseline, but I think we'll find out a lot about Damien, at least how they're going to do in league with this opener. But I like Upland.
This game another game we'll cover on the quarterback here, Freddie. And this is a game that I usually attended, but I'm going to miss it this year. So Monrovia is taking on San Marino. They're on the road. Just from appearances, Fred, it just looks like Monrovia is going to be the overwhelming favorite to win the Rio Hondo League, and I'm trying to figure out where this offense is going to come from with San Marino. This looks like it's
San Marino's really struggled. They played a pretty decent schedule, by the way. We have to look at that.
Yeah.
But so has Monrovia. When you look at they were competitive with Los Altos.
Mm-hmm.
Their only loss. I mean, you saw what they played them better than Northview did.
Yep.
So that tells me a lot about Monrovia. Monrovia went ahead and smacked Arroyo last week the same way Rio Hondo Prep did.
Pretty bad.
So they're the real deal, and they're big favorites in the Rio Hondo League, and I think in the Rio Hondo with what San Marino has done the last few years, I think it's time for them to reclaim ownership, and not just reclaim ownership. I think they want to make a statement doing it.
I think so,
I like
too.
Monrovia big in this game.
And another game that we like, I think we're both going to look back and see how big and the margin will be at the end. So we're going to send Isaac Coladeras over to go watch El Monte take on or host Rosemead on Friday night.
Yeah, and on paper, that's 5-0 against 4-1.
I don't think if you look at the record.
But if you look at the teams Rosemead has beaten, you might hold on a second.
No, buddy.
El Monte is the real deal.
Oh.
El Monte, even when you look at the Cal Preps ranking, James.
Yeah.
They have in our 3 zones. They have them number 11.
Yeah, they were 10 last week.
That's pretty remarkable. That for a team that's in the where they are, to be number 11.
Yeah,
and that's I think because of the way they beat Eagle Rock. And
beat them up pretty good.
Yeah, and Devon Booth is a Division I caliber player.
Yeah.
He really is. You do that at El Monte. That's why they've been number 1 in Division 12 and they've held on.
Yep.
I don't think anyone is going to beat them in the Mission Valley League. You see Arroyo being down. There've been weird games before though. There've been the Mission Valley League is always it's like Halloween night, all the time.
Sometimes you get a result, and you're just scratching your head like, what's going on?
How did that happen? So I don't think this is going to happen.
No.
I like if this is a 2-3 touchdown win for me, maybe even more.
I agree with you. I don't think. I think we're kind of waiting for the playoffs with El Monte. I think you put with La Habra with vacation time in the Freeway League.
Yeah.
This could be the same thing here with El Monte. I don't see anyone with the personnel and the rest of the teams within the league to give these guys a serious push. One other game, Freddie, we're going to cover on the quarterback Friday night. Alhambra is at Shore. This starts Almont League play. I don't think there's a team with a bigger upside, in my point of view, right now in the Pasadena area more than Alhambra. They have looked tremendous in their 5 wins this year. I just think they've got the Spartans over the barrel here.
Yeah, Alhambra number 1 in Division 12.
Yeah.
But, remember, I don't know what it is about Alhambra. I thought they were going to win, going away in the Almont League last year, and they didn't do it. They finished 8-2. They lost 2 league games.
I think that there's a major motivation factor.
Yeah, but I do like, you look at what Sure and Montebello and some of the usual contenders have done this year.
Yeah.
This is ripe for them to win these games and take the Almont League and go 10-0 and go into Division 12. They're number 2 in Division 12.
Correct.
Have a chance to. We'll see what they can do in that division. But Alhambra is certainly having a year. They beat undefeated South Pass when they were both undefeated.
Yeah.
I like Alhambra in this game for sure.
For sure. I think they're the favorites to win the Almont for sure.
Yeah, and there's some other games we'll just throw out there.
I'm going to take one right now. Can I give you one?
Yeah.
Roland at Baldwin Park.
Yeah, we'll both do this. I'll give you one. Okay, you're going to give me one.
Roland Park.
At Baldwin Park. I like Roland. Roland is 4-1. They won the big game against Nogales last week, which is their rivalry game.
Yeah.
It escapes me the team they lost to, but it was a pretty good team. I think they're going to be 3rd in the Valley Vista when all is said and done.
Really? You think they'll take over the hump over?
I think they're going to beat Covina. Yeah,
Okay.
I really do. I think they're going to wind up finishing 3rd.
Boy.
And then next year they go into the when they become all football leagues, they're going to have a chance. The tough thing for Roland is getting into their playoff division has been getting out of the Valley Vista League.
I agree.
I think they're going to have a shot to finish 3rd and get in the playoffs this year. And then we'll see what happens. I'll give you a game.
Please.
This is normally one of the biggest games in our area, James.
Okay.
South Hills at Charter Oak.
Oh, jeez. Back in the day, this had
Where
been...
have you gone?
Man, back in the day, this had been World War IV, so to speak.
Yeah.
And both teams on similar trajectories, not coming into, they probably needed the bye week to get some injuries taken care of and everything. Wow.
Is this for third place in the Hacienda? I mean, I'm thinking that Los Altos and Diamond Ranch played next week. I'm thinking those are the two best teams. And then to me, it's Charter Oak and South Hills for that third spot, and I think that's what they're playing for on Friday.
Ooh, you are right. You are definitely right. I will take Charter Oak in this game just because they're fighting for Big Lou.
Yeah,
That's it.
I like Charter Oak too.
I got a great game for you here, by the way, Freddie. For you, just one more. Pasadena Poly is taking on South Pasadena. Both 5-1
Nice
teams.
little non-league game.
It's a nice one. I like it. I like the matchup.
Pasadena Poly and Rio Hondo Prep. These are two really, really good teams.
I agree.
I like Pasadena Poly in that game.
Do you?
I think it's going to come down to the end of the season. Pasadena Poly, Rio Hondo Prep. There's only 3 teams in their league, so it's got to come down to those two.
No question.
They're going to play in the final week, but I've always liked Pasadena Poly,
Yep.
and as good as South Pasadena has been, this is going to be one of those case in points that they're going to prove again that. They're a threat to Rio Hondo Prep.
Yeah.
I mean, that game can go either way.
Yeah.
I'll give you another game right now.
I'm looking at the
Ready?
schedule. We'll roll.
Sierra Vista, Azusa.
Okay, so you're going to put Azusa on the clock here? Is that what you're going to do with
Azusa,
you're going to put them
you're
on
the clock.
You're
You
on
know
the
what
clock?
uniforms are they going to
Jesus.
wear this week? What are they going to
Jeez.
come up with the social media? But hey, look, James, and I know you've been kind of tough on Sierra Vista, but you have to give them this, and you have to
do.
be fair. Look at this: 0-10, 1-19 over the last 2 years. I know we've beaten that into the ground. They haven't had a lot of transfers. They're going to get one this week in Jelani Woods, who I
Correct.
hear is
Really
going to
good
be a
player.
game changer.
Yeah, really good player.
They are 5-0, 62-0 or whatever it was last week. Gary.
Yeah.
They are now number 2. They went from number 10 to number 2 in Division 14. Remarkable turnaround.
Yeah.
You got to give the coaches credit
I agree.
for injecting life into that program.
I agree. I just wish...
Is that the best you can do? I agree.
all I'm going to say is, look, I think it's what it's one of the big stories of the year. I just wish they would do it in a way which is, you don't need to go call out Bishop Amont and say, let's go play them. Okay?
You think that's serious?
I mean, I don't know.
I don't
whether
think
it's-
that's serious.
I hope it isn't. But again, if you just keep it positive,
I think they realize
okay.
that's a 70-0 game. That's
Yeah.
like Mount Sac calling out USC.
Or UCLA. Or UCLA.
No, they're not serious. Yeah, even UCLA.
Okay, let's just.
But come on, in their corner of the world, Sierra Vista's got a shot, and it would be the most
They're
one of
number
the most
2, right?
remarkable stories of the season.
Number 2 in Division 14, right?
If they can make a run in Division 14, and I think they're going to run through their league. I think they're going to finish 10-0. We've been saying that for weeks.
Yeah.
Come on, any others? This is
One more.
big week Friday.
One more non-league game for you is Cathedral is playing at La Mirada. Athletes all over the place. This is a good tune-up here for the final tune-up for Mike Machete, Freddie, before he gets into league play. Interesting game.
Yeah, and I do like La Mirada in this spot. I think it's going to be a close
So
game.
you'll get the clown on your face like I did a couple weeks ago?
They got off to the good start, and I think they want to go into the Suburban at least, at least 4-2. They're 3-2 right now.
Yeah.
So this was going to be a tough back-to-back week. That team that they played last week, Yorba Linda, is a very, very good football team, and it came down to the wire.
Interesting.
So I like La Mirada.
Okay.
So we've covered everybody.
I think
here.
I've looked at the top 20 here you got here, Freddie. I think we covered it all. So to
What
speak.
a big
And again, we
week
cannot.
on Friday. La Habra, we can't even talk about them the rest of the year because
No.
they're going in.
I do want to cover them one time though.
They're going into the freeway league.
I
which
do
means
owe
vacation time for La Habra.
I have to cover them one time in the freeway. I told Frank I'd go cover them one time in the freeway league. They are ranked number 4 in Division 3.
But Bishop Amat, go do us proud. Do the San Gabriel Valley proud on Friday. Go beat those guys out in Alamany.
And I speak on behalf of Freddie. We want to thank all the programs who delivered the new helmets in. Some of them, Freddie, some of them actually came to the office and dropped them off, which is great.
Did the mail in. It's nice.
We know we got El Rancho coming in.
And the more we're gonna kind of decorate the set a little bit and do some more things.
Yeah, this is
we'll
gonna
be able
be
to
fun.
start doing matchups. I think I want to go into as we move forward, James. We may break some of these up and do some of the small 2-minute drills just to have some fun.
We'll see.
Some music.
We'll see.
But right now,
I think our hits are doing pretty good with the likes and everything. So with the format, so this is as good as well. Freddie, let's just remind everybody what you are up to on Friday night, what you lay it out for us, what you morning till night, what do we got going?
Yeah, so I'm going to be at Bonita. I'm going to be christening their new press box on Friday night to watch that game against Glendora. Yeah. And my Friday night is, tweeting all of the updates, letting you know what's going on with all the games we just talked about.
Yep.
James is going to be at the Mirror game. We're going to have people at selected games. And at the end of the night, I'm going to put together our one-stop shop where you can go online, and I'll put all the stories on one story article, so you can click on the one you want to read about all of them. They'll have scores. They'll have photos of the top games, James.
Yep.
And then on Saturday morning, we'll publish James' Saturday morning quarterback, which is kind of a more an in-depth look at some of the games that we might have missed.
Yep.
Some of the games that what their impact was. He'll talk about that.
Yep.
But these next 5 weeks
should be fun.
This is what it's all about.
Should be fun.
This is league.
Should be a lot of fun. And so make sure, if you don't have a subscription, make sure you get your subscription going. Freddie, I'm fired up.
Yeah.
You're fired up.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about. We won't talk about the Rams or the Bruins.
Yeah, let's go. It's game time.
Oh my
it's
God!
Game time.
Just
Friday
don't put on
night.
the helmet. Hey, have a great week, everybody. We look forward to seeing you at the game. Make sure you if you're going to the Bonita game, make sure you bother this guy. He needs as much help these days as anybody, so to speak. His Bruins are not very good, and his Rams lost on Sunday. Did you go to the game?
Did USC win on Saturday? Because I've been talking about all my stuff, and
they're not playing this week.
Yeah,
so anyway,
that's what I thought.
We're not playing this week.
That's what I thought.
We got Notre Dame in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.